Hi everyone, welcome to AVPlays. If you're new to our channel, which you should be as this is our very first video, our channel is going to be dedicated to playing simulation style games. Our first series is going to be dedicated to the game you see right in front of you, Big Ambitions. Now if you're new to Big Ambitions, this is a very fun game where you start with a couple $1,000, an apartment, and a dream to open a business. Now, this game is still in early access. As you can see in the bottom left here, we are in early access 0.9, which is the experimental branch of this game. So there will be some bugs as we go through this, but I am super excited to dive in. Now, we're going to go ahead and start a new game, and you see there are two options, story mode and custom game. Custom game, if you're an experienced player of this game, you can go ahead, set your settings. It's a lot of fun to play custom. I usually do. You can start off with $0 if you're crazy. You can change the days per year. You can change how many attacks you get from your rivals, and a whole bunch of different settings here. But for the purposes of this playthrough, we are actually going to be doing story mode. That way we get some tips and tricks from Uncle Fred, and he guides us through the tutorial of the game. So if you're new to the game, you can learn as we play. We'll learn together. I'm going to be starting in hard. There's easy, normal, hard. The differences here are going to be the amount of money you start with, the prices of products that you import, the salary demands of your employees, the bank interest rates, and rival attacks. We're going to go ahead and get started in hard and dive on in. Alright, and we are in our character design. Super exciting. We'll go ahead and name our character AVPlays. And let's adjust the skin tone here a little bit. We're going to make him super muscular. If you guys knew me in real life, you'd know I don't have muscle. So, we get to roleplay a little. We'll live vicariously through our character. Alright, and we're not going to spend too much time on customization. Let's see. And even though this game is in early access, there's a lot you can do here. There's a lot of different faces to choose from. You can adjust your lips, your eyes, your nose shape. I'm going to leave my guy as is. We're going to have this hairstyle here. There's a bunch of different hair colors. We're going to make it black. Our guy is freshly 18, so we're going to make him nice and baby face. No hair right now. And for eyebrows, we're just going to make sure those match. And then once again, you got quite a few different clothing options you can choose from. I am going to give our 18-year-old a hoodie. What 18-year-old doesn't love wearing a hoodie? And we'll throw him in jeans, although those pink shorts are fancy. But we're going to go ahead and give him, say, some dark jeans. And then we'll give him some runners. And our journey begins. Let's go ahead. Well, it's my first day in the Big Apple, New York City, and I'm hungry for success. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know where to start. I asked the family's big shot, business genius, Uncle Fred, for some guidance, but he's probably too busy. I guess it's time to figure out how to survive in this town. It can't be that hard, right? Alright, as we go through this, Uncle Fred is going to cut in every so often. So, as soon as this loads in, I'm going to be quiet for a second and let Uncle Fred talk.
Hey kid, it's your Uncle Fred. I just got your message. Congratulations on taking your first big step toward becoming a massive success like me. But remember, you have to earn it. So let's get started. Now that park bench might look like a comfortable place to sleep, but I have a better option for you. A friend of mine owns a building with an empty apartment. Go claim it.
Alright, Uncle Fred has got the connections, and those connections have given us an apartment, which you see right in front of you. Before we dive into the apartment, I'm going to actually take a minute to pause and explain what we're seeing on the screen, right? There's a lot on the screen in front of you. So, We have our character up in the top left. You click here, you can make him do a couple things. We'll make him do the Macarena for a second here, just for fun. Let him go. Alright. You have this, which I actually am not sure what these do. Guess we'll find out as we play through. You see your 3 bars here. Your energy, your hunger, and your happiness. This isn't just a normal simulation game. You actually have to interact with your character, make sure he stays energized, make sure he eats, make sure he stays happy. If your character gets depressed, he'll actually refuse to do things. So you want to always make sure your character's happy. Alright, we've got $4,200 that we start off with. Very exciting. It is Monday, day 1. Now, in game, in story mode, a year is set to 60 days. So you have a lot of time. Your character starts at 18. You can go on until retirement age. So time, you have a lot of it to play with, but you also want to make the most of it. Every year is 60 days, so just keep an eye on that. And then, of course, it is 8:09 a.m. You have the start and pause button, and then notifications. Right now, ours are empty, but as you get notifications in game, you can always check them out here. We have the help button. This is something that you always want to stay on top of. This game has a really intense knowledge base, so you can always go through here if you need to know anything about how something in the game works. For instance, it opens right up to a gift shop. And what do we need to get a gift shop started? We need a stack of shopping baskets, a point of sales, and at least one product to sell. These are the products you can sell in a gift shop. These are additional suggested products. And then we can assign customer service and cleaning employees. What do we want to know about a gift, right? So you can click into gift. We see that it can be sold from gift shops, but additionally florists and bookstores. And it can be placed on a rounded shelf or a product panel. It can be purchased from any wholesale location or Bluestone imports. And then when we're ready for factories, which we might get to in this gameplay, we'll be able to build it out and see what it needs. So anything you want to know in this game is right here in this knowledge base. It's super in-depth, super great to follow. If you notice any bugs through your gameplay, you can always click on that bug button and submit one. And then, of course, your settings. In the bottom left here, we've got objectives. These are going to be given to us by Uncle Fred throughout our gameplay, as you can see right now. Rent an apartment at 45 3rd Street, which we're right in front of, is our first objective. And go inside the new apartment is our second objective. So we'll get to that shortly. We've got Bisphone. This is what you're going to be interacting with pretty regularly during your gameplay. So we'll open up each of these and kind of explain what they do. Persona. Alright, this is you, your persona. So we can see our name, our age, how many businesses we have, 0, our total net worth, and our weekly income. Our energy, we're at 49%, our hunger's at 99%, and our happiness is at 100%. You can see why our happiness is at 100%. We've got a negative 50 debuff because right now we don't have a home. That's going to be fixed soon, but we're still at 100, so it doesn't matter. And then your personal goals. So what are we going to do throughout the game? What are we looking to achieve? Contacts. As you meet people in the game through walking into businesses, your wholesalers, all of that, these are going to be contacts added to your phone. Now, contacts are super important because they make your life so much easier. Right now, we only have 2, which is New York Auto Tow Service. If you are in a car and you need a tow, you always can call Auto Tow. And then Uncle Fred, of course. Now, the reason contacts are so powerful is because as you grow, you don't want to walk around town or drive around town looking for a specific business, go into that business to buy the items you need, or things like that. You can always just call them and have them delivered to you, which we'll see as we progress. So that makes life so much easier. Rivals. If you're new to this game or you haven't played since I believe early access 0.5, then you don't know Rivals. Rivals are kind of your main competitors in this game. You're looking to defeat all your rivals. And this screen gives you so much information on these. So we can see their name once again, their age, how many businesses they run, their weekly income, and their primary neighborhood. So as you open up businesses in a rival's primary neighborhood, they're going to take notice. And the more businesses you open up in their neighborhood, the more they're going to start attacking you. Maybe they'll lower their prices. They'll try and price you out of the neighborhood. They'll stop renting to you. So that's something to always keep in mind. The main four rivals, so these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, these guys all exist in different neighborhoods, and they can be permanently defeated. These four are your main guys. Everyone underneath that can be defeated, but they might come back. These four stay gone. And what else can you learn from this screen? So you can learn their weekly income and how it's adjusted over time, and the amount of businesses, how that adjusts over time. And then you can see the business types they run and the weekly income from those. So we can see Ingrid is making $191,523 a week, and most of that is coming from her Communication Hut electronics store. You can also see the type of real estate they have, what they own. Real estate is something I haven't necessarily gotten too far into during my gameplays because it is so expensive. As you can see here, Ingrid owns quite a few real estate properties, the most expensive being $62 million, the least $2 million. So we have $4,200. We're a long ways away from being able to own any real estate. As you amass this big fortune, that's kind of like the final step of this game, is just starting to buy real estate property. Awesome. We've got My Employees. This is going to be a screen where you're able to interact with every employee that you hire, assign them to businesses, adjust them. Obviously, we do not have any employees right now, so there's nothing on the screen. Once we get employees, we'll talk a little bit more deeply into this, but you'll see employees and then candidates. This is anyone you're looking to hire. All right. We have EconoView. So EconoView is going to be all of the monetary information for your business, or for you, really. Your last few transactions, your businesses, your ongoing expenses, how much you make in a day, all this information, your loans that you have out, investments. As we start building up money, as we start building up businesses, there's going to be so much information populated here. We'll look deeper into that once we have a business. Next, we have Bisman. Now, Bisman is going to be what you use most often while playing this game. And this gives you all the information about your businesses. So the names of your businesses, the business types, just kind of like what you saw on the rival screen, the average daily income, any alerts they have, satisfaction status. Then you'll be able to see all your warehouses, your headquarters, and all your private residences. This is, of course, blank right now. As we build out more, we'll be able to look into these and get a feel for what it shows you when we have more data. After that is Google Maps, which is probably the second most used app on this. And what Google Maps does is it shows you where everything is. So I like to make sure we'll start with having all of our neighborhoods checked off. That way you know where you are, what neighborhood you're in, what you're looking at, where the next one is. But then you're able to see all this wonderful information. You're able to filter. So if you need to find a residential area for rent, you're able to see all of the ones near you. Retail, any warehouses that you would like to rent out. And then the reason I like turning on the neighborhood filter is when you're looking for a business, say you want it in a specific neighborhood, you're able to kind of make sure you're not entering the wrong neighborhood. So you want to buy a retail business in the garment district. We know the garment district ends here. We're not going to wind up over here in Hell's Kitchen. So that was just something to keep an eye on. Then you're able to see all these special buildings. So appliance stores, banks, the clinics, gas stations. So all of this stuff, it just makes it so much easier to find all that information right in front of you. And then last but not least is Market Insider. This is where you get all of the information about the specific neighborhoods, what they're looking for so that you can plan out which businesses to open when. And then you get all of this citizen data and real estate data. The citizen data is important because the higher the upper class is, the more expensive your products can be. We know that garment district is 70% working class. So if we go over here and look at lowest market price for a bag of lettuce, it's going to be $2.72. Now, Midtown is the richest part of the town, 94% upper class. And that bag of lettuce, the same bag of lettuce, is going to be $3.57. That's like $1 more per bag of lettuce. So as you think through where you're going to start your businesses, the prices you set, you're able to kind of look at this citizen data to get an idea for that. Now, this right here is your market demands. When you're opening up a business, you want to have the most demand for that product. We can see that right now in the garment district, bottle of wine is the highest demanded product. Its lowest market price is $26.96, and it only has one business open that is selling it. Whereas, let's say in Midtown, that same bottle of wine, we'll find it on this list right here, is 71% in demand. It is selling for $35.32, and it has two businesses selling it. So if you wanted to open up a liquor store, you maybe would like to open that up in the garment district versus Midtown. As you're going through this, these demands change, these lowest market prices change, these import price index changes. So this is a living game where you just want to plan out the best course of action when you're opening your businesses, just like in real life. If in real life you have 18 businesses selling a soda can, maybe you don't want to sell a soda can. All right, let's unpause and finally get to it. Now on this screen, this is actually Bisman, like I mentioned earlier. This is what it looks like when you're looking at specific things on Bisman. And you can see the amount of data it gives you, the building area, the total size, the market value of this building. And then this information is what we're really paying attention to. So Uncle Fred wants us to rent out this building. The daily rent is going to be $48. And the total initial payment is going to be $1,530. Uncle Fred loves making us waste money. We'll go ahead and we'll rent this building out. And we'll walk in, and Uncle Fred's going to talk to us.
Very nice you found the apartments, but it's looking really empty in here. Let's get you a few essentials to fill up the place. We'll start with some food. You can't conquer the world on an empty stomach.
Uncle Fred is right. You can't conquer the world on an empty stomach. Before we go out and do that, just one thing to pay attention to. Every single building is going to have a delivery spot and a hand truck. This makes life easier. If you order any products for your apartment, you're going to see them delivered right over to this delivery spot. And then you can use the hand truck to pick them up and bring them wherever you'd like. And let's head out. Uncle Fred wants us to head over to El Gato Food Market to buy at least 3 fresh food. We'll head right over there. Now, this is marked off for us. If it wasn't, then we would be able to go onto Google Maps and we'll find El Gato and click set destination. We would be able to find it easier, but luckily it's an objective, so it's marked right off for us. Now, we need to grab a shopping basket, and he would like us to buy 3 fresh food. We're also going to just buy 3 sodas while we're at it. Sodas give us energy and food. Food just gives us food. All right. And now, Uncle Fred would like us to buy a standard fridge, place a standard fridge in our apartment, put fresh food in the fridge, and eat the fresh food. I'm going to actually cheese this a little bit because Square Appliances is closed for another hour or 30 minutes, and I don't want to wait. You can sleep and skip time, but time is so valuable right now, so we're going to skip that. And I know that if I eat some fresh food, this step is actually going to just get completed. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, now let's find you a bed. Oh, and someone told me you were walking around the city. Just won't do. So I got you hooked up with a free car. It's waiting for you over by the car dealership. Now, this thing's not going to win any beauty contest, but remember, it was free. Check.
Now our sweet Uncle Fred has gotten us a free car. If any of your uncles have given you a free car, you are lucky. I've not experienced that yet in my life, but we're going to head over and walk over to that free car. Before we get there, we're going to make a pit stop into our apartment. And because I didn't buy the fridge, I am holding on to that food still. I'm actually going to grab this hand truck and just park it over here. That way we don't waste that food and continue on to our car. Now, we are not going to actually keep this car. And I mentioned earlier, we're following the tutorial to learn tips and tricks. But early game, you don't necessarily need a car. This city has an extensive subway system that's easy to use, easy to find. So I am going to take this car and sell it. It's going to give us $2,000 early on, and I'd rather the money over a little bit of convenience of a car. Our next step is going to be to buy a bed, place the bed in our apartment, and sleep until 6 a.m. Once again, Uncle Fred likes wasting time. It is 9 a.m. I'm not going to waste 15 hours. So, Ica Bohog doesn't open for another hour. And here's what I'm going to do, and we'll walk you through it. Early on in the game, there's 2 options for your career. There's customer service and delivery driver. Now, customer service is always going to be at El Gato. You kind of start at 8 a.m., you get out at 5 p.m. or 4 p.m., and you make a couple $100s for the day, just like a regular old 9-to-5 job. Your other option, which is new to early access, 0.9, is delivery driver. And as you can see, there's quite a few of these throughout the map. There's one here at Ica Bohog, there's one at New York Distro, Total Produce Trading. You're going to see some over here in Lower Manhattan, and then, some up here. So you have quite a few opportunities. Now, each of these jobs is going to be a little different. For instance, this one's going to be deliver 3 goods within an hour and 56 minutes, and you're going to earn $100 for each successful delivery. You don't get paid until you return and park the van right back where you picked it up, and any damage you cost to the van is going to be deducted from the final payment. I'm awful at driving in this game. Wouldn't be surprised if I ding up this van a little bit. But we'll go ahead and we'll take this job and dive in. Now, one of the cool things with the delivery job is not only are you making $300 per drop off, and some of the different places actually pay more, some may pay a little bit less, but overall it's usually around $300. But you also get tips for delivering faster. I think the most I've gotten is $60, but that's, $360 per completion for an hour and 26 minutes of game time is really great. and I think it's very valuable versus the El Gato job. And I always like to just grab everything out of the van, deliver it, drop whatever you haven't delivered back into the van. I just feel like it moves a little bit faster than trying to pick, a floor carpet or a Xanaman computer and just trying to choose that out of the inventory. But play as you want. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's preference is better than someone else's. So, right. And we're delivering our last stop at 4 Fifth Avenue. I think this is the shortest delivery job I've ever had. I don't mind that. Oop. Okay. All right. And they're delivering to crunch time. And we've dropped it off. And now our next job is to drop the van right back off where we picked it up. Now, as you play through the game, early game, I should say, these vans are actually pretty useful because you can keep them as long as you want. You just don't get paid. Say you need to drive from one side of the town to the other. Oh, we picked this up at Ikabalhog. Oh, man, I have ruined my perfect delivery. I went to the wrong spot. That's what I get. Now, as I was saying, so you can keep these as long as you want. So if you need to go from one side of the town to the other, you can just keep this van and drive there. You can't put anything into it. And of course, you just have to make sure you don't damage it. But it kind of is a early cheat to traveling across the map. All right, we've completed our first successful delivery. And as you can see here, so we completed all 3 stops. We made $300. We got $10 in tips for fast deliveries. And luckily, we didn't get dinged on that damage for a total payment of $310. Now, I'm not going to have you guys watch me do all of these deliveries because that's just boring. But I'm going to walk over to the next one. I'm going to show you a little bit of information on what we're seeing on the screen with the van, just so that you guys are aware of it. Then I'm going to kind of drop you guys off and pick you up when I'm done with the deliveries so you don't get bored of watching me drive a van around all day. We're heading over to New York Distro, though, and to complete this next delivery. Perfect. And now, all right, so this one might be a little bit different. See, same 3 destinations, but we have 9 hours to get it done, and we're going to earn $100 for each one. And what I wanted to show a little bit is this bottom thing here. So this shows you the type of vehicle you're in. This happens to be a delivery van. Whether you're parked legally or illegally, I can show you what illegally looks like. Right there. Now, you get dinged at the top of every hour if you're parked illegally, if you're not in the vehicle. That's a $120 fine for being parked illegally, so just keep that in mind. Now, this next thing is the amount of items inside the van and how many items it can carry. We see that we have 7 items in the van. It can carry 99. This is your fuel. It's at 100% fuel. And then 100% maintenance. If you ding up the van a little bit, that maintenance number is going to go down. And then this is what you can use to park the vehicle to get out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more of these deliveries, and I'll pick you guys up on the other end. All right, guys, and we are back. And before we continue, just a couple lessons from those delivery jobs. All right. Now, this particular one right here outside of Manhattan Movers pays the most of what I've seen. It's $150 per completion versus the 100. So not too bad. We're about $2,000 richer than where we left off. And the other note is that you can only do these, all of the delivery jobs, once per day. That's probably the last set of delivery jobs we'll do, because day 2, we'll be starting a business. Now, before we go to Bohog and buy our bed and all of that, I'm actually going to do one more pit stop. let me turn off this toggle. We're going to turn on subway stations. So you guys are going to see really briefly how subways work. And we're going to head right over here. And we're going to be going to the Manhattan Business School. And the reason for that is, one, it's going to be an objective from Uncle Fred, probably tomorrow. You need it to start your business. And two, the school closes at 8. It's 4:30-ish, so we'll be able to get like 3 hours of training in. Might as well not waste the rest of the day. We'll go ahead, walk over to that subway station, and let me mark it off just so we don't get lost. And we will hop on it and head over to Manhattan Business School. And at any point while you're walking through the city, every building that you see that is not for rent, not a residential area that is already occupied, you're able to enter into those buildings. I really recommend, as you're learning the game, as you're learning the map, entering into those random businesses to see how they're laid out so that you get a feel for how you should lay out your businesses, depending on what style they are, the size. It's really good practice. Here is the subway system. It looks exactly like Google Maps. The only difference is you can click on the subways. We are right over here, and we're heading to this subway. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and it's just a really quick drive. The reason I recommend Subway early game is it's $3 per stop, so it's really not that expensive. And you're saving out the money on the car. So if you bang up your car, you're going to pay $100, $200 every time. You're going to pay money to fill up on gas, so it's kind of a waste. It's a pretty speedy thing, and you're paying $3 to get around town. We're actually going to walk over to El Gato and grab ourselves some food and a drink. That way we can bust up our energy and our food, because that's going to take energy to complete those courses. And when we're so low on energy, we won't be able to take advantage of the 3 hours. So let's go ahead. We're going to grab our basket and grab one fresh food. I'm actually going to grab 2 sodas. And it's only $14, so not too bad. And head back over to the school. We'll drink our sodas. We'll eat our food. That way we have like half the energy. And hopefully it won't deplete our full energy amount. Like I mentioned, this is needed always to start your business, but there are a couple different classes that you will be seeing when you go through this. Uncle Fred will have you walk through them in the tutorial, but just to look at, there's office businesses, there's product manufacturing, market demands, headquarters, and then basic HR, which is the one we're going to be doing. Each of those costs different amounts and take varying amounts of time to complete. Basic HR is going to take 10 hours to complete, and it's $30 per hour. So let's start our basic training by dragging this out as far as we can. So 3 hours and 7 minutes of training, you can say, or studying. We'll skip the time ahead. And $94, it's really not that bad. And we're probably going to have to do that tomorrow anyway. So it's useful. Make use of the time you have, instead of, sleeping it away or sitting on the bench and skipping that time. It's always useful to make use of the time they give you in the game. Just like in real life, every minute is money, and you don't want to waste the money. And like I was mentioning earlier on this walk, you could always enter any business. So this is a supermarket. You kind of get a feel for the layout, the bathroom, how they lay out their storage area, the camera that they have, ice cream machine, and frozen food. So it's really useful. As you see how the AI lays out a business, you're able to say, okay, this seems to be the most logical layout for my store. Although you are able to really customize it as you want, but it is useful to take advice and tips from the AI. And right now we are walking towards Ikabohog to go buy our bed. And we're going to place it in our apartment. And Ikabohog is one of 2 furniture stores, I believe there are only 2. This one is going to have more abundance of things to choose from. It looks just like an IKEA. If you've ever been inside one of those, they're easy to get lost, easy to get confused. Follow the arrows. But as you look through the store, you'll see there's kitchen stuff, there's living room stuff. So you're able to buy everything you need furniture-wise for an apartment. Now, early game, it's so important to save up your money. You can see the king-size bed, that's at $4,110 out of the $6,459 we have. So don't waste your money on that early on. When you're rich, later on in the game, you can buy that. But for now, I'm going to buy just a standard bed. And bring that over to our apartment. And while we're here, I'm actually going to grab a fridge as well, because there are fridges here. And that standard fridge is $1,800, which is painful, but we're going to be using that quite a bit throughout the entire gameplay, so might as well knock that out early. All right, we checked out. We're following the arrows out of the building. And while we can take a subway to our apartment, I'm going to just walk it, not that far away. So we'll take a right here, take a left here, and, this is a very living, breathing game. So there's traffic. You hear the sirens in the background. There's so many stores you can walk into. There's so many apartments to rent, and all of that. It makes it feel like a real living city. And as the gameplay goes on, you'll see businesses close and open in different areas, which is how you defeat your rivals. But it is something to pay attention to. Maybe a gym closes in the area and you want to open up a gym. That's the best time to open it up because there's no competition. But we're going to go ahead and place our bed here, place that standard fridge in what looks like the kitchen area. Grab our hand truck. We're going to put all of this stuff into the fridge. Cool. That would make more sense. And now we can go ahead and sleep until the morning. So I'm going to leave it here. I know this was kind of a boring setup video for our first video. Tomorrow we're going to be waking up at 6 a.m. like Uncle Fred would like us to do. We're going to head right back over to the Manhattan Business School, hopefully knock out the rest of our training, and then take out a loan for our first business. So in the very next episode, we're going to be setting up our very first business, hopefully hiring an employee or two, getting that all taken care of. I'm super excited to continue this journey with you guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to get me into your algorithm. I really enjoy having you guys join me for this series, for this first video on this channel. And thank you so much, guys.